Hi, good evening. This is a foreigner in the Philippines. Just remembering as we do some of the people that have been in my life that I've been glad to have met. Uh, and of course, it's always great to have someone that you automatically smile when you remember them. And one I'd like to pay tribute to a friend of mine who always made me smile. That whenever, I don't know, it just seemed like his jokes were the funniest, and it seemed like he thought that mine were pretty funny too. So it was a lot of time laughing. And it's great when you meet someone who has the same sense of humor as you, because then it's just laughing all the way. And with Billy, that's my friend Billy, a guitarist in the UK, and his family, who I also knew. He just had funny little stories that he brought in, and because he was so involved with his children, we should explain that Billy and I were in the same band for quite a number of years, about 7 years. He was in that band longer than me, but he stayed on after I left. But I just remember some of the stories, and he always had little jokes. So it just didn't seem how many times you heard them that they always made me laugh. And as I did a video on jokes the other night, I'll tell you a couple of little things, just silly jokes that he used to say that used to make me laugh. When you're riding around in a 49-seater coach with just 13 guys in a band, it can get pretty basic. So there's a lot of swearing and cussing. There's a lot of gambling, smoking, and chatting, and not much drinking, strangely enough. And in the band that I was in, there were no drugs other than smoking and drinking, which are two of the heaviest drugs you can have, by the way. Well, we would be riding around, and often Billy had standing jokes which were always funny, and he would always say them. And one of the ones, well, two of the jokes that I always remember him saying, little standard quips. If anybody farted loudly, he would say in a very, very dry voice, "Yes, and the address?" That would be the first one. If anybody farted, he would also say, "Speak up, Mr. Brown, you're through," which I thought was funny. But he had little leftover behavior which he didn't realize that he was doing something funny, because he was so used to driving around with his children in the car, and he had little fun things that he used to say, and used to talk to his car in a childlike way, which children would love. And one of the things that he didn't realize he was saying was, if we were driving to a job for a change, we'd be in his car, and if we pulled up at the lights and it seemed like it wasn't changing, he would say, "Come on, silly lights." Maybe that's funny, maybe it's not. It makes me smile to think about it, that's for sure. But anyway, he later quit that job with that band, and to help him get by, I was already doing some building work. I was doing building contracting, and I was a carpenter, and I just happened to get a whole string of jobs where people trusted me to do the work, and I would help them get through certain design jobs, design aspects of the job that they were trying to do. And the first job that I ever got was for the mother of a friend of mine, Martin, who his father-in-law had died, and the mother-in-law was left after having had a large family of quite a few children and living most of her married life in quite a large house to accommodate a large family. And the children were all now grown up, of course, and she's living in this house alone. So they tried to get her to change and go to a small house which would be completely doable for her and handleable. And they asked me if I would go along and talk to her, because they felt, for some reason, they felt that she would listen to me. So I went along and I went with her to see this bungalow, right, which is in the UK is a ground floor only house. Call it a bungalow. So I went along there and I took my drawing pad along with me, and I showed her how we could build in furniture and not end up with these small rooms as if it was really cramped. And with the aid of my pencil and a few ideas, we managed to get her to agree and even to get excited about doing the whole thing as a project, and that was my first job. So I did that, and then later, because there was demolition work, in fact maybe even part of that job too, where we were taking down walls, digging up stuff and getting rid of trash. Well, we would have gotten a skip and left it outside, but instead I had this old Fiat estate wagon, and we used to load everything into bags, old cement bags, put it in the back of this thing that we were using like a truck now, and Billy would take it down to the local trash dump and drop it off. And for that I paid him labourers' money, and he was very, very happy to have that in order to support his family. And we worked together like that for quite a time. It was always fun, because Billy, even though Billy wasn't, he really wasn't that strong a guy, his sense of humour just made the day fly by, because we just laughed so much. And one particular time we got this bag of cement, ready mixed cement, and what we didn't realise at the time was that it came with a pouch of the actual cement, which you then worked with the sand, and it was slightly misleading on the bag. Well, we pulled the bag out, we mixed up the sand with water, and then I pointed, that's replacing the mortar inside the in between the bricks, and I got it all nicely pointed up, and then while I was putting little finishing touches to it, I heard Billy say, Terry, do you want to have a look at this? And when I looked, we'd pointed up the entire wall just with sand, and it didn't have any cement in, and of course would wash away at the first thing, so we had to dig the whole thing out and do it all again. But right on that day we couldn't stop laughing, and we ended up just quitting for the day because we just couldn't stop laughing. That was what being with Billy was like. And another time he was actually trying to chisel out some brick that had to be chiseled out, and I could always tell when Billy was chiseling, because instead of you're hitting it with, say, a 7-pound club hammer, and you hit the chisel and it goes thunk, thunk, and it has a deep solid thud to it. But if you're not able to do this, and it's not your scene, it will go tap, tap, tap. And I would hear him tap, tap, tap. And I would go, okay, well, it'll take long, but at least we'll have a laugh. And then I always said to him, Billy, I just have you here, joking of course and with respect. I said, Billy, I only have you here, don't worry about working. I only have you here so that I can blame you for everything. So one day he's working in the next room, I'm in the front room, he's in the back room, and we can hear each other. We're talking through the wall, and I was hammering, and I must have hit my hand or something, hit my thumb, and I went, damn, like that. And Billy's voice came through the wall, and he said, sorry, Terry. He took the blame for that. Billy, I miss you. Well, that's my little reminisce about an old friend that I had. Some people mean more to you in different ways than others, and it was a sad loss when I lost Billy. So, the other thing about Billy that I will say in parting and in finishing this was that he was so much in sync with the way that I thought that when I was when I started writing, I used to write letters to Billy, and I would write to Billy, and I knew that whatever I felt, that whatever I wrote, Billy would like it. So no second guessing, no invalidation, no criticism, no, that's not good. Just listen to what I had to say, understand it, and acknowledge it. And that's all that any of us can expect from a good friend, is that they will listen to you, they will understand you, and they will acknowledge what you say, and just say, thank you for telling me that. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being my friend. Billy, thank you for being my friend. This is a foreigner in the Philippines.
Please like, comment, and subscribe. Hello, good evening. Oh, God bless.
Guess who that is?